Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Corvette Enterprises. We're doing our continuation on the work of the '63 Corvette Stingray from AMT. As you can see, we started working on the body itself as far as painting it up. Basically, went back to the two colors, one being the bright red Craft Smart satin finish to coincide with the interior bucket. So basically I'll flip this around for you. So you can see that we airbrushed originally the interior part of the body work of the Corvette. So there's that. And I said once again, we went ahead and once it was painted up, we went and put the future floor polish on there to seal in the paint. And then we started working on the outside body of the car. Of course, we went ahead and used some painter's tape to on the underside there to try to prevent any kind of overspray. For the interior part of the body as much as possible. And this is the actual color I chose for the exterior body itself, which is the folk art. This is called the ice blue. It's also metallic paint as well. So that is the color I picked. And of course we went ahead and airbrushed this in several layers with a light coat first, and then we just kind of built it up. I would guess about 3 or 4 passes with the airbrush to what you see right now. So it came out pretty good. And then once that was done, we basically went ahead and sealed it up with some more of the floor polish itself. And of course we couldn't forget about the hood itself. So here's the actual hood in the same color scheme of the ice blue. Again, following the same procedure as far as a light coat and kind of just build it up a little bit. But that's the result. So we did the the top part of the hood itself like that. We also, as I flip it around, we also did the underside of the hood as well, same color. Okay, so with that being said, we'll go ahead and move forward with actually starting to start putting this together, and we will be back shortly. All right, we'll see you a little bit. And we're back, and you can see that in front of you we have actually completed the '63 Corvette Stingray for this series. Like I said, we did our final assemblies by, if you look at the instructions here, we had basically 5 and 6, which had to deal with the body and the actual final assemblies. And again, with the AMT instructions for the final assemblies, you pretty much had your choices, which would have been, like you see in front of you here, is the stock. And if you turn it over, then we have the custom, and then we have the street rod version. So, like I said in the beginning, I just went ahead with the actual, basically the stock feature. To get this Stingray done. So with that being said, like I said, with the initial number 5 step for the body, we basically went in sequence where starting on the back end, we had the gives you 2 options. One is the custom exhaust tips, which is in chrome, and then the other option is having the 2 tail light bezels for your stock or street rod, and then inserting your red 2 tail lights into the taillight bezels, and then of course gluing them to the rear end of the car. So that's basically what I did with, and it's got number as 1, 2, 3 for the mirror, 4 for the actual interior bucket, and then 5 is the gluing in the firewall. So basically that's the steps I took to complete that end of it. And then we went on with the like I said, stock assembly. So with that being said, let's bring this in a little bit and kind of show you what we did. I'll go ahead and turn this around, and we will kind of start on the back end here real quickly. Take my little pointer out. Now on these basically taillight bezels here, in order for me to insert the red taillights there, I actually had to ream out the inside of the bezels themselves so that the red taillights are actually flush with that part of the bezel lights. Once that was done, then the other thing I had to do was actually the 4 holes that the bezels are supposed to be inserted into, along with the combination of the exhaust pipes in the bezel feature, pertaining basically to the tail light holes themselves. I actually had to kind of ream out the holes on that too in order for it to line up properly, because this is an AMT kit, so you had to do a little bit of some work on there for this side as well as that side there. So we got those put in and glued in, so that took a little bit of some doing, but we got her done. And then as far as the next step would have been putting in the windows clear. We actually use this product, which is the glue and glaze from Deluxe, for making the crystal clear windows and bonding canopies in most plastics. So I've always had some good results with that. So we actually inserted the one-piece window feature, and I had that all nicely taped down and everything, and let that kind of sit overnight. Then removed the tape, and it seemed to hold pretty good. And then of course we did insert the mirror, but what I actually ended up doing with that was just putting a little dab of some of the glue on there, because there wasn't much as far as a hole or anything to put the mirror in. But so we just put a little dab of the glue on there, and then took some tweezers and applied it to where the contact point would be for the mirror. So that is glued in, and I'll take some pictures so you can get a closer look at the completion of this build at the end of this video. So that was like step 3 in the body assembly, and then 4 was of course inserting in the interior bucket, which we went ahead and did that, and got that kind of glued in place. And then finally the firewall itself. So once that was done, we basically went to our final assembly, and of course that is again a step-by-step sequence. They tell you to go ahead and glue on the chassis to the body, so you can see here. Let me flip this down a little bit, so you can see we got everything kind of glued in place on the chassis to the body. So that was pretty easy to insert. The next step, we come back here to the rear of our 2 rear bumperettes, they call them, chrome. What I had to do was to actually take a little razor knife and scrape off the chrome plating on the part that you can't see, so that when it gets slid in there, I have some sort of a contact point to glue the rest of the internal parts together to kind of hold everything in place. So we got those bumpers in, you can see here on the left and right side, and then we went ahead and inserted the chrome license housing. And then, of course, I went on the computer and went to the Acme license plate maker, and we printed out a classic license plate for the 63 Corvette. So I actually kind of printed out a Florida classic plate, and I'll take a picture of this too so you get a closer look of it. But it says Stingray 63 on it. So that is that for the license plate. And when it came to actually applying the stock hood, as you can see right here, I kind of bring it a little bit closer. Because of the stock engine 327, I'll kind of see if I can flip this back up like so. The air filter is just up a little bit high, so that when when you're lowering the hood, you can see how it's not closing all the way flush with the rest of the body of the car there. It did take some work to actually, since this front end part of the hood's got like the little hinges on it, so I kind of had to bend it a little bit in order to insert it, as you can see here. And then of course, with the fake vents, I did a little black wash on that just to kind of give some contrast on there, even though they don't really serve a purpose for the Corvette Stingray. But I also did a little detail work here by applying some red and blue on the flags for the insignias of the fuel injection. You can see here. And then, of course, on the back, we have our red and blue flags here for the below the split window. And I just kind of took a toothpick and kind of highlighted the raised letters of the Corvette on the back end here. And of course, the same feature on the other side, passenger side, was the red and blue on that. And then on the front, we did the same thing for this little insignia here for the red and blue flags, as you can see there. Just some minor little details there. So what I'll probably end up doing is just raising up this hood here like so, so that if anybody wants to see the engine, can show the engine off. But basically this is going to be displayed on my shelf. So with that being said, this is the finale of the 63 Corvette Stingray made by AMT, Street Rod Edition. And we'll do kind of a quick little turnaround so you can see all sides one more time. And I really enjoyed this project. Like I said, not too many parts for when you decide what options you want, and everything pretty much got put together really nice. So I was pleased with the turnout. So there you go. I hope everybody had a good Easter weekend, and we will catch you on the next project. So until then, everybody have a good day, and we will catch you later. So long. Bye.